Hey, what's up, people? It's your boy Smiley, and today we are going to react to Bsolz top 50 best players in the NBA in November 2020. Now, this should be interesting. You know, the playoffs, everybody saw what everybody did in the playoffs and everything, so now the rankings should switch up. I know he did one in April that I sort of disagree with, but Bsolz uses logic. That's all I ask for when when you do these type of lists. Logic. Don't just base it on stats. Don't just base it on the eye test. If you got logic, I mess with you. So we gonna get started. You know what I'm saying? This is God Be Souls.
The 2020 NBA season is over, and I think it's time. It's time to update my top 50 players in the NBA list. Obviously, the top 50 list is an ever-changing list, and it can change so much just in the course of one season.
Right.
Players get better, players get worse. Some players are put in better situations, some aren't. A new draft class comes in, and just overall, a lot can change. Anyways, let's just cut to the chase. These rankings are going to be based on who I think are going to be the best players going into next season.
Right.
That is assuming everyone is healthy. Keep in mind that when I'm ranking
That is
these
important.
players, I am simply answering the question to myself: is this player better than this player? So that means that my rankings aren't solely based on the last season, although it definitely does play a factor. I'm
What
also
about
taking
wins?
into account how I believe some players will return from their injuries, and also any other improvements that I predict going into next season. Also, throughout this video, I'm also incorporating a tier list. The tiers simply represent a bracket of players, a group of players.
Okay.
that I
Wait,
believe for the most
wait. Let's look at the April list. Wow, he had Kawhi number one. I know that's blasphemous to say right now, but back in April, like it wasn't blasphemous in April. Is my thing. So yeah, Kawhi number one. I still have LeBron at number one even in April, but it's alright. But LeBron, Giannis, dang, he got I guess Curry number four, Harden five. Okay. I would definitely. Oh, this is in April. I keep forgetting this is in April. We gonna see in November, but it's Jason Tatum. Mm. Ain't nothing too ain't nothing too crazy.
be interchangeable, and those will be marked by the color on the card of each
I
player.
agree with most
But
people
let's
on
get
this
into
list.
man. Let's start off with 50 through 41. Coming in at number 50, we have Jaren Jackson.
Right.
Number 49, De'Aaron Fox. 48, LaMarcus Aldridge. 47, Gordon Hayward.
Right.
46, Marcus Smart. 45, Draymond Green. 44, Nikola Vucevic. 43, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 42, John Morant. And 41, Zion.
Okay, let's react to this one. All right, so Jaren Jackson number 50. Yep, I agree. I agree with these five right here. Like maybe you can make a case that Jaren Jackson is better than Fox, but I'm not gonna make the case. The Marcus Aldridge, Gordon Hayward is better than Aldridge, and Smart is better than Hayward. Now Draymond Green, and he did say he's predicting how they were going to perform next season. You gotta remember that. That's why Draymond Green is right here. You gotta think he's going to perform way better now that Curry and Klay Thompson isn't injured. So, Vucevic, okay. I thought Shea would be a little bit higher, but this is a good spot. John Morant, Zion. I would switch these. I'm just saying, man, because Zion, just the defense and the fact that he can't play more minutes because he gets tired so often. You know what I'm saying? Like I would switch this, man, especially since Ja led him to the Ja almost led him to the playoffs, but I still would switch it. Zion still has to show me something on the defensive end, and he has to show me something with the stamina. But it other than that, man, this list is great so far.
Williamson. Nothing.
I'm gonna watch this ad for Bsolz. I'm gonna edit this out. Oh man, oh man. Hey, I messaged you Bsolz, but hey, I'm not watching 4-minute ad. I'm sorry.
Who's
All right.
special in this part of the list? Like I always say, 41 through 50, most people don't even go that far into their list making abilities.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I am very open to having this part of the list very interchangeable
Yep.
with some of the players that are outside my top 50. And while we're at it, I might as well mention my honorable mentions. And so far, I have 6 that I want to name, those being DeAndre Ayton, TJ Warren, Spencer Dinwiddie, John Wall, Derrick Rose, Dennis Schroeder. And let's add Blake Griffin to that, depending on how he comes back.
Oh, he
However,
don't.
probably the most controversial thing
Okay.
you'll notice about this part of the list is Draymond Green. Because in April, I didn't have Draymond Green on my list. So you might be asking, Bsolz, Draymond has literally done nothing from April to this year for you to move him up like this. He wasn't even in your top 50. Now he's
Right.
45.
Right.
I know. But keep in mind, like I said in the beginning of this video, I am taking into account any improvements I suspect going into next season.
Yep.
And Draymond Green, I've repeatedly said on this channel, is a player that I believe if he's on a trash team, he's not going to be as effective as he can
Right.
be.
That's what I'm saying, man. I swear, like, y'all just let the hate blind you with Draymond Green. I know he trash talks and everything, but you don't put Draymond Green on trash team and say, carry us. You know what I'm saying? Sure, he could have been, like, way better last season, but come on now. He is the ultimate role player. He can pass, he can defend, and that is perfect for the Warriors system. Now, when Curry and Clay are all injured, you know what I'm saying? They don't have a system anymore. He is a perfect system player. Like stop letting your hate blind you, man. Once they get healthy, Draymond gonna
But if
show
he's on
something.
a good team,
I feel like.
a playoff team, like the Golden State Warriors are supposed to be next year,
Right.
with Steph and Clay and this draft pick and whatever they want to do with that coming back, then I believe Draymond Green will remind people to a certain degree as to why he was considered a top 20 player in 2017, 2018, because there was a reason for that.
Right.
There was a reason for that. And me putting him at 45 obviously means that I don't see him being a top 20
The
player
deepest
next season.
impact
But all I'm saying
alone.
is next season, I believe
Just need to get that shot
Draymond
right.
will remind us as to why he was held to that regard back like just 2 years ago. Also notice the drop Zion Williamson made from my list in April to
Definitely
this
deserved.
one. I think I jumped the gun a little too much on Zion Williamson back then. And right now, I really am concerned about his weight and his stamina, although I really shouldn't be talking. But with the way Zion is built right now, he is not as effective of a defensive player as he can and should be. And he also gets way too tired way too quickly.
That's
So
what
much
I'm
so that he
saying,
gets a lot
bro.
of
They kept
injuries,
blaming
and his stats
Gentry.
most of the
This
time
man
are
is
negative.
tired,
That's why I have
bro.
him down a lot in my list. But with that being said, let's move on to the next
This
part.
man's
Next up, we
tired.
got 40 through 31, and at 40 we have Zach LaVine,
Oh,
39
ooh.
Drew Holiday,
Okay.
38 DeMontis Sabonis,
Right.
37 DeMar DeRozan, 36 TJ McCollum, 35 D'Angelo Russell, 34 Jamal Murray, 33 Brandon Ingram, 32 Chris Middleton, and 31 Bradley Beal.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. All right. I guess I'm like a big fan of Sabonis because I'll have Sabonis like I think he's better than CJ. I think he's better than Russell right now. I would have him like right here, you know what I'm saying? I think he's better than DeMar. Like Sabonis showed me something this season. That season. But I guess I'm like a little bit of a fan of Sabonis, so never mind me. The V not 40 is interesting. I don't think he's better than anybody on this list, so he could stay at 40. Drew, this is a perfect spot for him. This is good. Like I said, I have Sabonis like right here, beside D'Angelo Russell. Yeah, I would have him better than these two. Jamal Murray. Like it's hard not to bump him up because of that bubble performance, but I guess 34 is a good one, a good spot for him. Okay, so I want to see who's ahead of Beal because I know he can't be basing this 31 spot off of stats because Beal had great stats. but he didn't really play defense and his team didn't win. I guess that's why he's down there. But yeah, not too much to complain about.
This is the part of the list where things get interesting to me. Now, I know I said earlier in the video that tiers, at least in this video, aren't supposed to represent a group of players or a category of players, but what you will see in this part of the list are a lot of the number 2 options in this league. Number 2 options that are great number 2 options, but a lot of people would be hesitant in building their team around said player. You got the Chris Middletons, the CJ McCollums, you got the Jamal Murrays of the world. We also have some of the, unproven young stars in the league and guys like D'Angelo Russell and Brandon Ingram. Now, let me take some time to harken back to just what I said like 2 sentences ago, because I just, blindly Jamal Murray's name. But shout out to Jamal Murray, bro. Shout out to Jamal Murray, because in April, he didn't even make my top 50.
He didn't? Oh, what? Oh. Jamal Murray had to be at least top 50 in April. He didn't make top 50? I know a recency bias is clogging my memory, but I felt like Jamal Murray was at least top 50 before the season got postponed. West Side.
Yeah, he's a top 50 player. Now, I would put him this high. I am comfortable in putting him this high, although I know that jump is ridiculous from my April list to now. And I understand his numbers aren't sustainable. I'm not expecting Jamal Murray to be a 28 point per game scorer on 50-50, 95 splits next season. Because if I did, he'd be in the top 10, quite frankly. But I believe what Jamal Murray proved in the bubble is that he can be a more consistent scorer, a more consistent number 2 for the Denver Nuggets than what he has been in the past.
Yeah, because his biggest problem was his inconsistency.
The conversation for who the second best player on the Denver Nuggets has been of strong contention the past couple of years. There was a conversation between Jamal Murray and Gary Harris, and then you got guys like Jeremy Grant, and then you got guys like Paul Millsap. But I think with Jamal Murray,
I ain't never really believed in Gary Harris. I knew Jamal Murray was the second best. I already knew it. I knew it.
The Denver Nuggets, unless some crazy trade happened, is Nikola Jokic's.
I never believed in Gary Harris.
Team. I probably butchered that. Also, probably the other controversial part of this list is Bradley Beal being all the way at 31, or Bsolz be 31. How is that the 31st best player in the NBA? Now, that sounds crazy, but I really do think the biggest reason as to why this is one, the league is just this talented, because once I name off the players I have above him, I really don't see how you can have him more.
Yeah, let me see who's above
22, 21. And even then, you can still say, how is a 30 point per game scorer the 21st best player in the league? It's just how it is. It's just how it is. And number 2, defense. A lot of the players that I have over Bradley Beal are also
That's what I said. That's what I said.
But on top of that, they add to your team and to their value with their skill defensively.
Beal just checked out defensively.
Compared to my last list is that I'm actually more lenient on the stars that are on bad situations. The reason for that, well, man, y'all gonna have to subscribe because I got a video coming in 2 days, but let's keep it moving. Now let's read off 30 through 21. At number 30, we got Kemba Walker. 29, Pascal Siakam.
Okay.
28, Jaylen Brown.
Yes, sir. Yes. Oh wait, let me. I'm gonna let him finish.
Gobert, 24, Devin Booker. 23, Donovan Mitchell. 22, Kristaps Porzingis, and 21, Bam Adebayo.
Yes, sir. That's why I mess with him, bro. God, y'all know who I'm talking about. This part of the list. Jaylen Brown is our second option and one of our better defenders. He's at least top 4 defenders on our team. I mess with Kemba. But Jalen's better than Kemba, bro. I promise you he is. And he's better than Siakam. and I will fight about that. I won't fight. I will argue with you that Jalen's better than Siakam. Bro, Jalen showed me a lot in the playoffs, and Siakam didn't show me much of anything. I know this was his first time being like the main guy, but he didn't really step up. You know what I'm saying? Jalen locked him down defense and had a good series. It wasn't great because he did have that like awful game 4, game 5 performance, but he was still better than Siakam. And the thing is, in the regular season, it was still close. So the playoffs just took him over the top, I feel like. So yeah, Jalen is better than Kimba and Siakam. To me. To me. I'm a Celtics fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Celtics fan. Alright, so Trey Young, yeah, I guess this I guess this is a good spot for him. The reason he's not super up there, even though he's like averaging 30, the defense is just so bad. The defense is so bad. Kyle Lowry 26. I almost want to give Lowry 25 and move Gobert right here. But I'ma chill. Nah, I ain't gonna chill. Kyle Lowry should be 25. Gobert 26. To me. D Book, Mitchell. Yeah, I guess. Porzingis. Yep. I like it. I like the list so far. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like the list so far.
This is the part of the list where we stray away from looking at players who are number 2 options to players who are definitively like number 1 options of a team, whether they are winning or not. We go from looking at guys like Jaylen Brown and Chris Middleton, and now we start looking at guys like Trae Young, Devin Booker. Although I will say, even though I just said that, I really do think there's an argument for having the two I mentioned earlier over Trae Young and Devin Booker.
Yep.
Again, like I said, I am
There
a
is a
on
big
the players
argument.
putting up good numbers on bad teams. Just
A
a little
big
bit, just
argument.
a little bit. But if you believe that Jaylen Brown and Chris Middleton right now are better players than those two, I see the argument. That's all I'm saying. I see the argument. The only slight exception that I see in terms of looking at players that are number 1 options is probably Kristaps Porzingis and Bam Adebayo in this part of the list. They give you so much value. It's insane. It really is. Especially when you consider what they give you defensively. Now, probably the most notable drop you will see in this part of the list compared to my last list.
Kimba.
Hey, do you want to save money when you shop online? You should click right here and download Honey. No. Don't click there. Click here. Click here. Click it! Skip now and you won't learn how to download Honey and save money at thousands.
It's Pascal Siakam. Pascal Siakam dropped a lot. He had a tough bubble outing.
Definitely.
Pascal Siakam
locked up, won't let me out. Locked up, won't let me out.
That's a whole different conversation. But honestly, even before all of this happened, I already was skeptical on how good Pascal Siakam could be as a number 1 option. And I really do think even if the bubble never happened, come the playoffs, I just can't look at Pascal Siakam and trust him too much.
This is on his first year as a first option, though. I'm gonna give him some time.
A game on, relatively good efficiency. I just think his bag offensively is not deep enough, and he isn't physically dominant enough to make up for that. Even Giannis himself. Giannis is a physical specimen, and even Giannis is getting criticized for the way that he scores and how effective it is in the playoffs. And also, after the bubble, to me, Donovan Mitchell is the best player in the Utah Jazz. That is clear.
Yes, sir. Come on, bro. I know Jazz fans love them so Gobert, but the amount of playmaking and scoring that Donovan Mitchell did in that bubble, man, was crazy. Gobert has some good games. Even has some good offensive games, but still Jokic got his a lot. You know what I'm saying? So, and plus once Gobert gets a perimeter, tries to guard the smaller guards, it doesn't look good for him. It doesn't look good. That's why Jamal Murray can go around the screen and then be wide open, because Gobert has to sit in the paint somewhat, and he can't affect the shot because Jamal Murray will just pass right by him. You know what I'm saying? So that pick and roll between Murray and Jokic, that was deadly because Gobert couldn't really leave the paint a little bit. So, I don't know. I feel like Mitchell covers up so much of the Jazz offensive deficiencies because they don't really have another playmaker. Even with Bogdanovich there's still not another playmaker. Like in the bench, they got Jordan Clarkson. That man's not a playmaker for anyone. That man's shooting. Every time he is shooting. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I feel like Donovan Mitchell is the best player. Let me get through this video, man. let me get through this video.
That is clear. And now we get into the top 20. At 20, we have Karl Anthony Towns.
Okay.
19, Ben Simmons. 18, Paul George.
Yep.
17, Klay Thompson. 16, Russell Westbrook. 15, Kyrie Irving. 14, Joel Embiid. 13, Chris Paul.
Okay.
12, Damian Lillard. And 11, Jason Tatum.
Oh, you about to ruffle some feathers, bro. You are about to... Hey, I'm messing with... I'm gonna get to this part because you about to ruffle some feathers with that one. But Karl Anthony Towns, Ben Simmons. Yep, Ben Simmons is way better defensively. You know what I'm saying? Karl Anthony Towns got to win, bro. I'm sorry, man. This man got to win. Paul George, Klay Thompson. Yeah, I think Paul George is better than Ben Simmons. He's definitely not better than Klay. Russell Westbrook. I'm gonna let that slide. I'm gonna let that slide. All right, so he got Chris Paul ahead of Joel Embiid. I don't know if I agree with that, bro, but I'm sure you got reason. Kyrie Irving. Yeah, this is all straight. Now this is gonna ruffle some feathers, bro. I agree with them. I don't care. I'm a Celtics fan. I don't care. Lillard had an amazing bubble. You know what I'm saying? But Jason Tatum has such a jump, like during the playoffs and in the last part of the season. I know Damian Lillard was just cooking everybody, but the impact Tatum has on the defensive end as well as the offensive end was crazy. And plus, he led him to the ECL in his third year. That's crazy. And plus, he's basing that off what he's gonna do next season. I feel like Tatum's gonna get even better once he works on shot selection and gets a. I hope he's been working on floater, because if he gets a floater, bro, it's gonna be over for everybody. But yeah, I like this.
The most controversial part of this list.
It's definitely controversial. Well,
from 11 to
if you want to argue,
there's a lot of room for debate. I will admit that
we can argue. Comment your argument in the comment section.
Are some of the most known players in the league. This is a part of the list where we start looking at players who have shown spurts, who have shown glimpses of being able to be a superstar, but just haven't done it consistently enough to be considered a superstar. The only real outlier to what I just said is probably Chris Paul, because Chris Paul has been one of the most consistent players the past season. But the question is that production superstar level? But regardless of superstar definitions or what have you, Chris Paul last season impressed me so much. So much so that, you know what, in the beginning of the season, I honestly
we can tell he impressed you. You know what I'm saying?
Chris Paul, I was thinking, maybe Dennis Schroeder's still better. Maybe Shea's still better. But as the season progressed and as we got into the playoffs, it was clear that Chris Paul is still the real deal. And he is still one of the most complete point guards in the league. So much so that, especially after the playoffs, I would still have him over guys like Kyrie Irving and Russell Westbrook, even though he's at this stage in his career. I'd go as far as to say that. As a matter of fact,
IQ.
I did.
It's an IQ, you know what I'm saying?
You know me, man. I'm a Celtics fan. Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum at 11 is probably a hot take right now.
Yeah.
It probably is. And I may be jumping the gun a little too much.
He's not.
Keep in mind that I am considering any jumps in ability, any improvements that I believe will happen next season. And I believe next season is really the first season we are expecting Jason Tatum to flat out be the best player from day one till the end of the season.
Right.
And I think he is good enough to prove that. And if he does, which I think he will, we are looking at one of the best two-way players in the league.
Facts.
A guy who can
they underrate his defense, bro.
An offensive game, or at least a scoring bag that is elite, and just has to be a little bit more consistent in the playoffs. And if Jason Tatum can continue to lead the Celtics to one of the best records in the conference, I don't see why I can't put him at 11.
Facts.
Now let's address another two-way wing in the league. A two-way wing that went down on my list, and that is Paul George. Look, man, in terms of talent, Paul George is up there. He really is.
It's that
He's very
playoffs,
similar
man.
in terms of
It's
talent
that playoff
to
P.
Jason Tatum, because you have a guy that's one of the best scorers in the league and is a great two-way player with a handle. You know what I'm saying? You can give him the ball and he can handle the ball. But when you consider the playoffs, and not just this year, but also his years with the Thunder, although he had spurts of being good in the playoffs for the Thunder and even for the Clippers, he is just consistently inconsistent
Trash.
in the playoffs. It's insane. That is why I have to move him.
He's being too
Also, the
nice. He's
conversation with Jimmy Butler and
consistently
Paul George
trash.
is done.
Done.
Which is crazy because I made a poll like a couple months ago just asking on who's better, Paul George or Jimmy Butler, because it's one of the most contentious debates in the community.
The
But now
argument's
that's
done.
That's done.
It's
Jimmy Butler.
over.
And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the top 10 because
All right, let's go.
we have Jimmy Butler.
Okay.
Number 9, we have Nikola Jokic. Number 8, Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Number 7, Luka Doncic. Number 6, James Harden. Number 5, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Ooh.
Number 4, Anthony Davis.
Ooh.
Number 3, Steph Curry.
Ooh.
Number 2, Kawhi Leonard. And number 1,
LeBron. Okay. And now this part of the list is interesting. Jimmy Butler 10. I agree with that. Jokic is better than Jimmy Butler to me. I feel like I know Jimmy Butler just had this amazing run, but Jokic still like proved so much. Like getting past the Clippers and everything. He has such an impact on that team. Kevin Durant, number 8. I guess it's the injury, but I promise you he's gonna be like at least a number 4 in the middle of the season. He's gonna be at least number 4. Luka, yeah, this is a good spot for him. Is this a good spot for him? I gotta think of the jump. Right now, I think this is a good spot for him. James Harden, Giannis. Dang, Giannis lost his spot to AD, which I feel like is right. Right, AD has such an impact, bro, in those playoffs. Y'all don't understand, bro. Nobody wants to go in the paint, bro. Like, AD has just this impact on the defensive end that there's no way. And this is his spot, bro. He has such an impact defensively. Is he better than Curry? I don't want to say that yet, but Curry's good right here, and of course, you know, LeBron is the best player. You know what I'm saying? We're not even gonna entertain Kawhi right now.
James. And there you have it, man. My top 10. My top 50. My top 50. But right now, let's just focus on the top 10. Number 1, shout out to Jimmy Butler. Because
Right.
I think before this season, most people had him anywhere from like 12 to 17, 18, right? But after the playoffs, the way he led that team, I want to say carry, but the way he led that team,
Didn't carry,
the way
but
he
he
performed
led.
in the finals, he earned a lot of people's respect. And he earned mine. He earned mine. And I think it was good enough for him to be a top 10 player in the league.
Right.
Especially when you consider what he brings defensively as well as what he brings
This man was
offensively and what he
tired.
brings off the court. Also notice that Kevin Durant went down by 1 compared to my April list. And the main factor as to why that is,
Luka got
it's
better.
not even because of Kevin Durant. It's because of Luka.
Yeah.
This man Luka, bro. Like, I have to say this every time I mention Luka in a video.
Crazy.
This man is just insane. He is insanely
That
talented.
game winner he
Even when
got
I
against
did
the
list back in
Clippers,
April, I already knew
crazy.
Luka was a baller, right? But even then, I still think I underestimated how good Luka is. And I'm gonna be honest, even right now, midway through next season, I might say the same thing.
He might be
I'm gonna
right
honest,
there.
To me, at least, by the end of next season, we are gonna start having conversations
Top
of
5.
who's better between James Harden, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, and maybe Anthony Davis.
The thing with the Luka James Harden argument, it's gonna be really interesting next season. Who wins more? James Harden in the Rocket system or Mavericks in the Maverick system? They damn near played the same system, you know what I'm saying? It's not small ball, but it's usually 5 out, everybody in the corner. Doncic get the pick, go straight. You know what I'm saying? Draws a foul, kicks it out, or shoots a 3. Hey, it's the same. It's almost the same system as the Rockets, so it'll be interesting to see who has a better record. I'm leaning towards the Mavericks because Rockets seems like they're going to do some trades and everything, but it's going to be interesting.
I think that is how good Luka is right now, and that is how good I think Luka will be.
And Giannis gotta go down. I'm sorry, those playoffs,
Now,
man.
Let's talk about Giannis.
Yeah, he
Let's
gotta
talk
go
about
down.
Giannis, because Giannis moved down from my top 3 to 5. And now I have Anthony Davis over it. So let's address
Easy.
Number one, I still stand by my statement that I believe Giannis Antetokounmpo deserved the unanimous MVP last year because of the season that he had.
The regular season.
Based on the regular season
Unanimous?
and the regular season alone. I still stand by that.
I don't know.
But this list is based on who
I wouldn't
think
been
are
mad.
the best players in the NBA, period, point blank. And with that, I am taking into account how you perform in the playoffs. And especially this high in the list, I'm taking into account how your skills and your game translates to championships. I'm going to be honest, until I am proven otherwise. And I can't be proven otherwise. I am taking Kawhi Leonard. I am taking Stephen Curry. I'm taking LeBron James. And the new addition to this list is Anthony Davis. I am taking Anthony Davis over Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I am too. I am too.
Because of their proven track record in the playoffs, and B, their ability to be effective in the half-court set. And now you might be saying, well, Bsolz, then put Luka there. Then put, like, Jokic there.
Nah.
Why wouldn't you do that? And I'm going to be honest. I said this on a Twitter Takes React video I did. I think depending on how those two improve next season, I'll entertain that conversation. I
think defensively, he's still gotten beat.
On Giannis's talent, because Giannis is still one of the most talented players in the league. I have him at 5. I have him in that top 10. I had him as the MVP for a reason. But again, when we're talking about the playoffs in this day and age and how the game is being played right now, there is a case for players like Jokic and Luka and
I'm so excited to see Luka next season, bro. I'm so excited
to be over Giannis. And last but not least, we got the King, LeBron James. LeBron James is back at number 1.
Yep.
LeBron James is the best player in the league. I said back then that Kawhi Leonard was the best player in the league until proven otherwise, until further notice. And it just happened to be that now, November 2020, that notice came. And LeBron James.
Kawhi got that eviction notice. He gone out the no one spot.
Crazy. No, make it crazier then. Make it crazier. Go ahead and comment in the comment section down below what you think of my top 50. Any critiques you have, comment your own. This video did take a long time to make.
Bruh, shout out to Bsolz. Let me give him a like. I'm subscribed on my other channel. I thought I had to get in my bag. Alright, so that's gonna be it. I appreciate Bsolz for this video. I appreciate you for even sticking to this end of this video. I forgot to say subscribe. Please subscribe. You know what I'm saying? We gonna watch some more basketball videos. So I'm out. Peace. Peace, King.